Hey friends, welcome back. My name is Savannah, and today let's talk about all the movies that I watched in the month of August. So this last month, I didn't really get to watch as many movies as I would like to. I was traveling and I got into a really big Sims phase. So I've just been playing a lot of The Sims. So what you'll notice is that a lot of the movies that I did watch are newer releases that I tried to make time for. But I'm hoping with the fall coming around and with the film festivals and with horror spooky season coming, I watch a ton more movies and hopefully I have a lot more to recommend to you and more things that we can talk about in the coming months. But for now, this is what I have. So without further ado, let's just jump into what I've seen this last month. All right, so I have listed down here all of the movies that I watched this last month. Again, like I said, it wasn't a whole bunch of movies. I have 16 on this list. So here is my tier list again. Once again, we have the Stop What You're Doing. These are movies that I really recommend you stop what you're doing and watch right now. Your new favorite. So this is a movie that I really recommend that could possibly be your new favorite movie. Popcorn time is usually used for movies that maybe they're not so good, but they can be fun if you've got some friends or maybe some popcorn to watch it with. Results may vary. This one is going to be the ones that I just don't know. Like, you might like it, you might not like it, and I might have liked it or not liked it, or vice versa. So this one is like the most open-ended category. And Time for Bed is obviously the one where honestly it's a snooze. I think you would think it's a snooze. So let's just not waste our time with it, right? So actually the first movie that I did watch in August, it was like the night or two before my trip. It was The Life of Chuck. So this is a new release. This was released now in 2025, right? It was like in June, I believe. But this was released back in the fall film festivals. So this is the new movie by Mike Flanagan. This is not a horror movie. Mike Flanagan is known for his horror work, but it is not. It is also a Stephen King adaptation. And The Life of Chuck kind of explores the life of this man named Chuck. And it's told in a really interesting, nonlinear fashion. And I thought it was a really heartwarming movie. Like, this was a new, life affirming movie. It made me feel really good and it made me feel really happy. And I think that it was just a really sweet movie. And it was really interesting, this movie coming from Mike Flanagan, who does a lot of horror work. But I thought it was really good. So where would I put The Life of Chuck? I don't think it's a stop what you're doing. I'm tempted to put this in your new favorite just because it is such a sweet film, and I think a lot of people might really like this movie, and it could be a very positive experience for a lot of people, and you might really enjoy the life-affirming elements. I'm going to say your results may vary because I do think this movie also has a lot of people that didn't enjoy it, and maybe they found it a little too sweet or simple. I haven't read a lot of the negative reviews of it so much, or at least it was the beginning of the month, so I don't really remember. I do think that there are aspects of it that people just might not enjoy. I think that it has a strong chance of being in your new favorite, but for the sake of this, I will say your results may vary. But I would really recommend giving this one a try. Your results may vary. You might not find it as sweet and life-affirming as I did. Maybe you might have different opinions, but I definitely think that this movie is worth a watch and it's worth your time. So after The Life of Chuck, this is actually a movie that I watched on the airplane on the way to Europe, or it was Shanghai, on the way to my layover. So it kind of got split up in between like sleeping. So the next one I watched was Y2K. So this was a horror comedy that released last year, and I had heard very mixed or not great things about it. I want to put this in popcorn time because I do think that if you go into this with some friends and maybe some popcorn and you're expecting a movie that's not going to be very good, that this would be a good category for it, and maybe you'll find more enjoyment of it. Oh, I guess I should probably explain what it's about. Two high schoolers that in the year 1999, in the New Year's Eve party going into the year 2000, obviously there was a lot of like this, if I know correctly, there was this big scare that like everything would stop, or like things couldn't handle going into the year 2000. All I know, there was this like big technological scare. I don't remember if it was like an end of the world scare or not, and I honestly can't be bothered to look it up. But basically these two high schoolers are at a New Year's party in the year 1999, and things go awry in a very gruesome manner. I didn't think this movie was very good. I gave it 2 stars. It doesn't help that I was on an airplane, so it was probably a very like uncomfortable environment to be watching a movie a lot of the times. I was honestly like a little bored from it, and I genuinely really like horror comedies. I think I will put this movie in popcorn time. I will try to be a little generous because maybe I had the added discomfort that I was on an airplane and not in the best environment for it. I think go into Y2K not expecting honestly a really great movie, but grab some popcorn, grab your friends, have a laugh. I think that's the purpose of this movie. It's not going to be very good, but it's not like completely without its merits. It had some pretty cool practical effects. It had some entertaining moments. It had some really cool kills. So I think that for that much, it's worth grabbing some popcorn and throwing it on with your friends. So one thing that I'm not sure if I should do or not is put on repeats, like things that I've rewatched. But I think that if I have not talked about it on the channel yet, I will include it in this kind of video. But in the future, if I do rewatch like the same movie and I've talked about it previously, either I will mention it and I will throw it in the same category that I always would, or maybe I just leave it off. I don't know. Tell me what you think down below, which one you think I should do. For the sake of this video, I will add it onto here. So when I was on the plane, I decided to rewatch Sinners, and wow, I actually really liked this movie more on a rewatch. I was able to appreciate it a lot more. So the first time I watched it, I gave it 4 stars. I really liked it. I thought it was a really great work of art, honestly. This movie is cinema. I mean, this movie has a lot of things that I really like. There's really great themes to it. There's really great storytelling, and it's a horror film, and it does the horror really well. It is a excellently crafted movie. It is absolutely beautiful, and the acting is wonderful. The soundtrack, I especially appreciated the soundtrack and the score a lot more the second time around. I think the first time I watched it, I spent a lot of time really anticipating the horror elements to it. So I think that I really didn't get to watch the movie and appreciate all of the earlier world building themes to it than I did the second time around, because I was really anticipating, like I knew where the story was going to go. I knew the elements that were going to be introduced, and I certainly wasn't disappointed the first time around. But I think the second time watching, I really got to sit with these characters, the world building, and I got to enjoy the ride a lot more. I think this movie is amazing. Instantly stop what you're doing. If you have not seen Sinners, you must watch it. It is the movie of the year. I'm having a hard time believing right now that anything is going to dethrone this for the best movie of the year. It may or may not be like my personal favorite movie of the year. I'm not sure. But honestly, this to me so far is the best movie of the year. Like in terms of craftsmanship, acting, cinematography, score, etc. I need to stop gushing about this movie. What are you doing? Please go watch Sinners. It is an excellent movie if you're looking for something that is really deep, that it has a lot of great themes. It is horror. It is a horror movie. Let's not run away from the fact that it's a horror movie. Let's not try to run away from those titles because horror movie is like a dirty word. It is a beautiful, wonderful horror movie with excellent themes, excellent allegories. I think that everyone needs to watch this movie. Okay, so the next movie that I watched, I was able to catch when I was in Amsterdam, and I went to the cinema there, and it was a beautiful cinema. I really liked it. I watched 2 movies in Amsterdam. The first one that I watched was The Naked Gun, the new one with Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson, directed by Akiva Schaffer, I believe it is, right? Oh, sorry, Akiva Schaffer of The Lonely Island. I loved The Naked Gun. I thought it was super funny. I've watched the first 2 Naked Gun movies, I think last June, but they're such good spoof comedies. They're so simple. They're so fun. instantly a popcorn time movie, honestly. This movie, like, it could also go to your new favorite, because I think if you're a really big fan of comedy, spoof comedies, you might really like this one, and it could be like a rewatch comfort movie type thing. So this one is like a reboot, sequel-ish movie to the original 1980s Naked Gun movies. It's about a cop in a city trying to solve a crime. It's spoofing a lot of things. It's just really silly. If you don't know anything about it, just think of like the scary movie type movies. Like, this is that type of genre of film. I'm really excited that they're bringing back spoof comedies. And I mean, they're making a new scary movie, right? So maybe it's the time for the spoof to return. I gave it 3.5 stars because although I think this movie is hilarious and it's worth your time, there was a ceiling for me, I think, for spoof comedy movies. I don't know. It would have had to have been, I would like rolling out of my chair laughing the entire time. To reach like super high levels. But honestly, maybe on a rewatch, this one could increase in rating. Like, there's certain bits that I'm like now remembering in my head that just are so funny and I really like. So I think I'm going to revisit The Naked Gun sometime, and maybe it will increase in its rating. If you're looking for a silly comedy movie night, this is 100% a movie that you should be watching. So my next movie that I got to watch is also like, it's a wonderful memory, because when I was traveling in Europe, I was able to go to Belgium and I was able to go to Bruges, and I was able to watch In Bruges. And it was my first time watching In Bruges, and it was so amazing. I had this beautiful hotel room that was like, from the window we were able to see the what is it, the Belfry Tower, I think that's what it's called, right? Belfort Tower. And it, like, we had this beautiful view of it, and it was so wonderful and so beautiful, and to lay in bed and watch this movie overlooking and seeing that landscape. Honestly, probably a top 5 experience of my life, like a top 3 maybe. I don't know if I'll ever be able to beat that, because it was honestly so beautiful. This is directed by Martin McDonagh, who also did The Banshees of Inisherin, which also stars Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson. And I really liked The Banshees of Inisherin, actually way more than I thought I would, to be honest. So In Bruges, I wasn't sure. I think with In Bruges, I really did enjoy it, but I didn't enjoy it as much as The Banshees of Inisherin. But I think that this was a super funny movie. It was like it's got that really dark comedy to it that I really do enjoy. But I don't know, there was just some elements missing to it to kind of put it higher up for me. I would say some of the emotional elements didn't hit, but I also don't know if that's just because like I was in a travel mode and maybe I wasn't in the right state of mind. But this is definitely a movie that I would revisit and rewatch again. But I don't know if it's ever going to live up to watching Bruges in Bruges. But from what I know, I've known a few people now who really, really, really love this movie. And from what I can tell, if this is your thing, this movie is going to be so good and it's going to hit so hard. This movie could go into Results May Vary, because I think your results may vary. Because if the humor's not for you, the humor's not for you. This could go in popcorn time because it's so silly and it's so funny. And like Ralph Fiennes, Brendan Gleeson, Colin Farrell are hilarious. I love Ralph Fiennes. He's done such a good job in this movie. This could also go in your new favorite because, like I said, the people that really like this movie, they really like this movie. Like, this is absolutely a favorite movie of theirs. So I have these 3 categories that it could go into. I am going to put this in your new favorite because I think I would recommend this to people who like a sort of dark comedy, who like dark humor, dry humor. That's your thing. You are going to love it. I think also if you do love like The Banshees of Inisherin, you're probably going to love this movie too, or at least enjoy it very much. So I think out of respect for my memory of Bruges and for the movie itself, I'm going to put it in your new favorite. And if you're ever in Bruges, like, watch In Bruges. I recommend that experience a lot. It was so wonderful, so magical. I've peaked in life. The next movie that I watched was actually one that I did start on the plane, but I didn't finish it actually till one of the nights on my trip, like when I was like feeling really like not so well in the hotel room. So this was The Last Duel, made in 2021, directed by Ridley Scott. This one has Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Adam Driver, Jodie Comer, amongst others. This was a movie that kind of quietly came out and it really flopped at the box office, but this was also during like COVID times as well. From what I remember, maybe it just wasn't marketed very well. So I think what is important to know, this is about a woman who unfortunately undergoes a very terrible experience. And she is accusing her husband's former friend, of doing this horrible crime to her. And this movie is told in 3 different perspectives. It's told in the perspective of the husband, it's told in the perspective of the friend, and then it's told in the woman's perspective. I thought this movie was incredibly acted. The cinematography was beautiful. I think that this movie is probably like really underrated, like, or underseen maybe, because I think that the people that watch this, it's generally got a very good score. I would say one of the biggest negatives though is I love the commitment to no accents. Like, this movie takes place in France, in like medieval France. Nobody speaks French. Everyone has like a British, or maybe even like different types of British accents. And then there's like Matt Damon, who it's like an American accent, honestly. Like, he just speaks normally. It took me out, but then almost like it's endearing in its own way, because it's the commitment to just not having accents or being like authentic to the area was so hilarious. But despite that, and maybe I don't know how historically accurate or inaccurate this is. Apparently it's based on like a true story of something that happened. I would say this was a really good movie. I was completely enthralled by it and enveloped in it. But it is a very difficult watch. It touches on very difficult themes. And I think that a lot of people might find it very uncomfortable to watch this movie. But it is a really good movie. So where do you put that kind of movie? Obviously, this is not a popcorn movie. This is not a popcorn movie. This one could be your new favorite. Would I say stop what you're doing and watch this movie right now? I don't know. Okay. So after some deliberation and thinking, I think that I am going to put this movie in results may vary. I think with the difficult themes, with the historical inaccuracies of the accents, maybe some people have had problems with like the script of the writing of the movie. I think it's worth watching. I think it's worth checking out. If you're looking for a really grand medieval drama, then this definitely is something that you should look out for. I think it's really good, and I think it's underseen, so I think more people should probably check it out. So the next one that I'm going to talk about, I'm probably not going to go too deep into. I made a review video about this. So Weapons was the next movie that I watched. It was my last night in Amsterdam, and I watched that in theaters. Really good movie. I'm gonna put it in stop what you're doing. Notice me, the horror movies, stop what you're doing. I think it's a really good movie. Wonderful. Check it out. Even if you're not a fan of horror, I think you need to check this one out. If you want to know more of my thoughts, go check out my other video. I will link it down below, or I might like add it in a card somewhere. I don't know. I'm still figuring out this YouTube thing. So on my way back, I watched another airplane movie. This time, one of my older films of the list. It was Primal Fear from 1996. So this movie is directed by a man named Gregory Hoblit, and I'm not really familiar with a lot of his work. This movie is about an attorney who takes on a very difficult case, of which this boy, played by Edward Norton, he's very young. I think this is Edward Norton's like first role almost. He did really good in it. But basically Edward Norton's character was the witness to a crime. He is being accused of this murder. And now this attorney has to defend him, and it's kind of discovering, like, did he do it? Did he not do it? So this was a really good courtroom drama, I think. Gosh, what do I put this in? I do think it was slightly predictable for me, but I don't think it took away from the journey along the way. Honestly, yeah, I thought it was like a really solid 90s courtroom drama. And if you're like really into courtroom movies, then this is 100% going to be something that you enjoy. We need more courtroom movies nowadays, I think. So I'm going to say, maybe I need another category. What do you think? I'm going to say your new favorite. I'm just going to keep it even here. Your new favorite, because I don't think it's going to go into results may vary. I think it's I think that category could be a cop out, and I don't want it to be a cop out category, right? So I'm going to put it on your new favorite, because if you are into specifically also right with like the In Bruges recommendation, If you are into courtroom dramas, 90s movies, mysteries, I think you're going to like this movie. I think it has really solid acting. It's got a really interesting story. It does its genre very well. Okay, so the next movie that I checked out when I finally was back home is the new movie Sorry Baby, which is written and directed by Eva Victor. This movie, it's also got Eva Victor starring in it, and it's Naomi Ackie also in it, which, by the way, Naomi Akkie's in a lot of things, right? She was in Mickey 17, Sorry Baby, and she's also in another movie that I'm going to be talking about soon. So Sorry Baby, this one was actually so good. Sorry Baby is about a woman named Agnes, and Agnes has unfortunately experienced a very terrible thing. And this is a very good character movie about someone who has experienced a horrible thing and how they are getting through life with that experience. And this one is a slow movie. It is an intimate movie. But God, I really liked this movie. I was in the right headspace. And I think it's really important that we watch these small independent films. Like Eva Victor, this is her debut movie. I really hope this movie gets some awards presence. If not the Academy, I hope it gets some indie prospects here, because it was so wonderfully written and so well acted. And I thought it was really important. Like, this movie, it touched on a lot of themes that I find very strong and very important. So I'm going to say your new favorite, Stop What You're Doing. I'm going to say Stop What You're Doing because honestly, I think Sorry Baby was a really, really good movie. Watch it, give it a try. If you're not a big fan of slow, intimate indie dramas, then maybe it won't be your thing. But I still think that if you're not that experienced with those kinds of movies, or maybe you are still curious enough, you should check it out. I think this is worth a watch no matter what kind of movies you like, because these are the kinds of movies that make you feel alive, and it makes you feel human. And those are my favorite kinds of movies. Please check out Sorry Baby if you can. On a little bit of a different note, the next movie that I watched is going to be our 100% popcorn time movie, Jurassic World Rebirth. Like, there's no question about which category I was going to put this in, which actually we're lucky because I hate Jurassic World Dominion. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. You know, I'm looking at my Letterboxd and I gave Jurassic World Dominion like a 1.5 stars. And I think Jurassic World Dominion deserves to be a 0.5 star. I save 0.5 star movies for movies that I actively have a disdain for. And as time has gone on, I've realized that whenever people talk about Jurassic World, like the Jurassic World series, I cannot stop myself from hating on Jurassic World Dominion because I hate it so much. So maybe I need to, you know what? I'm going to bump it down right now because Jurassic World Rebirth. It's the new one. It's like the reboot, directed by Gareth Edwards, who'd done like Godzilla, I believe. It stars Scarlett Johansson. It's got Jonathan Bailey, Mahershala Ali. This one, a lot better than I was expecting, to be honest with you. This is a perfect popcorn movie. Is it amazing? No. Is it basically the first Jurassic Park, but like told differently? Yes. But honestly, that was fine. That's all I needed it to be, and that's what it was. So if you go into it expecting it to be just like a little silly and dumb and not that amazing or groundbreaking, I think you could have a lot of fun with Jurassic World Rebirth. So I think it's a popcorn time movie. Watch it with friends, watch it with family, grab some popcorn, have a good time, enjoy the silliness. There's some really good set pieces in here, and there's some really good suspense moments. There's a lot of dumb character decisions, but honestly, that's par for the course for the Jurassic World series by now. I think it's average, but I think it's on a decent side of average. So I think it's worth checking out. Give it a try. Okay, so the next movie that I'm going to talk about is one that I still don't know how I feel about it. So I gave this movie 3 stars because I think no matter what, it is a well-crafted movie. Well, let's just jump right into it. This movie was Eddington, which is the 4th movie made by Ari Aster, which I love Hereditary, really liked Midsommar, actually enjoyed Beau is Afraid for the most part. But Eddington, I have such a hard time with it. I think that this movie was really well done in terms of craftsmanship, cinematography, direction, acting, all of it was really good. I'm having a really difficult time with just wondering if I enjoyed the movie, right? So this movie obviously is very contentious. It is about a small town going through COVID, right? It's the beginning of COVID. This is also really interesting to me because I moved to Japan 1 month before COVID started. So I experienced the COVID pandemic in Japan. I had a completely different experience to a lot of people that I know that are from the States. And it's really interesting. I don't know how accurate this is. The COVID experience in Japan, I think, was wildly different in a lot of ways, at least socially, than it was in the US. I don't know about the rest of the world. I think instantly this movie, no brainer goes in, results may vary. I think a lot of people might really enjoy this movie, but I think a lot of people might really hate this movie. This movie is very, like, to me, it felt very neutral in its stance. It made fun of the left wing, it made fun of the right wing, and I think it was a really interesting exploration into the complete bananas bonker world we lived in during COVID. But I think it was interesting, like, and it went to places that I was not expecting it to go, and like towards the end I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see this is an Ari Aster film 100%. And I think I have to rewatch this one to fully digest it and to really understand my own thoughts and feelings on this movie. Everything about the movie on a craftsman level was really good. I just don't really know if I enjoyed the movie. I cannot tell. Your results may vary. You might like it. You might hate it. It's a COVID movie. It's Ari Aster. Oh man, the movie I watched next, as you can see, it slowly popped his head out from behind my camera. I watched War of the Worlds, starring Ice Cube, the new movie starring Ice Cube. I think people would expect me to put time for bed, right? Like, this is a boring movie. It's a horrible movie. It's time for bed. But I'm kind of tempted to put this in popcorn time. I watched this with a group of friends, and I think that was the perfect way to watch this movie. Yeah, fuck it. Popcorn time. Watch this movie with friends. Grab some snacks. Have a laugh. This movie is dumb. This movie is stupid. I gave this movie 1 star because I don't hate it. You know, it's not Jurassic World Dominion, but this movie is dumb. It's not good. It's so stupid. Ice Cube, he looked like he was reading off a teleprompter the whole time. The emotions from his voice, like there was no emotion from his voice. It's not a good movie. Watch it with friends. It's gonna be really dumb. Honestly, it makes for a good like party movie where nobody's really paying attention, but it's just kind of on. Everyone's laughing. Everyone's making fun of it. That is the purpose of this movie. Basically, I guess if you don't know anything about War of the Worlds, it is a movie. It's one of those movies told like through the computer screen, right? Like if you've seen Missing or Searching or that one episode of Modern Family, it's told throughout the screen of this guy who works like through the defense of America, like whatever. But he is just working, and then basically the like War of the Worlds, there's an alien attack, but it's told through the perspective of phone calls and Skype chats and Microsoft team meetings and yeah, it's about as stupid as you'd expect. Watch it with your friends. Don't expect anything. Make fun of it. Honestly, I can't put it in time for bed. It didn't put me to sleep. It was so dumb. It was so dumb. It was great. Watch it. The next movie that I watched with a friend, and actually this one is from 2015. It is called The Diary of a Teenage Girl. So this one is directed by Marielle Heller, if I'm saying it correctly. She made the Amy Adams movie Night Bitch that came out the other year, but this one I believe was her first film. She wrote and directed this. So The Diary of a Teenage Girl is about a 15-year-old girl who is coming of age in the 1970s. As you can imagine, this movie is about coming of age, sexual liberation, just learning about yourself as a young girl and your sexuality and growing up. This movie, though, had a lot of horizontal activity. I mean, they weren't always horizontal, but it had a lot of horizontal activity in it. But this movie has Alexander Skarsgård, and I love Alexander Skarsgård. Alexander Skarsgård, Kristen Wiig, and Belle Powley, who plays the main character of Minnie. She did a wonderful job as Minnie. This movie had such a really interesting flair to it, and I really thought it was a really great movie about coming of age and exploring your sexuality as a young teenage girl. I think that with the themes of it, though, a lot of people might have a difficult time from it. It's really hard. Nobody really talks about this online. I tried to find some like Reddit threads and stuff, but I can't see anybody talking about it. So please let me know down below if you've seen this movie, what you think about it, if you've liked it or disliked it. I'm going to put it, though, in your results may vary, because I think that with that premise and some of the subject matter of the movie, some people might not like it, especially people who tend to be, and I don't say this in a negative way, like the prudish people might not enjoy it. As for me, I love that exploration of sexuality. I love that. I mean, I was a teenage girl, so I can really relate to a lot of that. I thought it was a really good movie. But if you don't like seeing horizontal activity in your movies, then don't watch this movie. I don't think you will like it. But if you don't care, horizontal activity is welcome in your movies and you don't mind, it doesn't bother you, definitely give this one a watch. If you like coming of age movies, I definitely recommend trying this. The next movie I watched, actually, remember, I have an aversion towards animation, but with my friend, I watched Elio. And actually, I don't know if it's just because of life and the things I'm going through. This movie came at a right time. I liked this movie a lot more than I thought I would. Elio is about a young boy who is really, really interested in aliens, and he wants to be abducted by an alien, and it's kind of his adventures in this very space themed movie. And I think that this movie was really sweet. It was better than I was expecting, because I think now Pixar has this kind of reputation now where a lot of people are kind of expecting more of the same from Pixar, from what I can tell. And I thought this movie did it really well, and it was really sweet, and I liked a lot of the characters in it. I've noticed with animated movies that I tend to like them a lot more if it has a large focus on animals or creatures. Like, if it's all about people, I think I don't tend to like it as much. So I think that Elio, results may vary, because I think if you are tired of the Pixar formula, then perhaps you might not enjoy this one as much. It might be a little predictable for you. You might not get a lot out of it. But I think this movie is a lot sweeter than people are giving it credit for. So I think Elio might go in your new favorite, because I think if it touches on those themes, like it touches on the themes of family, of belonging, I really enjoyed that. Like feeling lost. Like, and as a person who perpetually feels lost in life, like I really relate a lot to that kind of stuff. And I really recommend that you check it out, because I think it might surprise you with how sweet it actually is. Okay, second to last movie was the movie that I was really anticipating, and it was Together. So this one was made this year, starring Alison Brie and Dave Franco, and directed by Michael Shanks, I believe. This movie was awesome. So basically, I don't want to spoil it too much, but this movie is about a couple who moves to the countryside, and they have a sort of supernatural encounter, which begins an extreme transformation of their love, their lives, and their flesh. Basically, I really liked Together. It's right up my alley. It's body horror. It's a little comedic, a little dark comedy there. It's got some really good themes. It's got some really decent scares and imagery, and then it's also fun. This movie, right up my alley. Honestly, this movie could go in any of these categories except Time for Bed, because I love this movie. Results may vary. You might not like it if you don't like body horror or horror in general. Maybe you won't enjoy it as much. Popcorn time, this movie was fun. Especially the last half of the movie, it was really fun. It could go in your new favorite because it's so silly and the premise is somewhat unique, right? Or I could say stop what you're doing and watch it right now. So a couple things to add to my thoughts. I really did enjoy Together. I do want to rewatch it again. I don't know if anyone else would agree with this. I feel like, one, the story was slightly predictable, and two, I feel like in certain parts of the movie, I could tell that this was someone's first movie, if that makes sense. There were things that were happening in the script in the beginning that felt very convenient, and so there were certain elements that kind of took me out of the beginning of the movie. I'm not sure if I'm being just a little too harsh on it, but I still think it's definitely worth a watch. And I really love the themes and the allegories of this movie of relationships and codependency, and like the exploration of those kinds of ideas of love and complacency. And I loved the horror of this movie. It really reminded me, if you've ever seen a movie from the 1980s called Society. So like it gave me big Society vibes in some ways. Watch that if you like that kind of horror. I definitely recommend it, especially if you love 80s horror. But okay, anyways, without further ado, where would I put Together? Because I'm trying to debate, like, if I want Stop What You're Doing to be like a more universal thing, like, is this something that I believe everyone would like? Or is it just something that I'm like, hey, I really freaking enjoy this, so stop what you're doing and watch it right now? You know what? I'm a horror person. I'm a horror fan. We're almost in spooky season, almost, right? Like, September is just pre-October. Together, watch it right now. I think it's really fun. Let's support these like smaller movies. I think it's great. And then if you really liked that, go watch Society. Horror. Are honestly just all like really good horror movies just gonna go up here? Probably, because I love horror. I'm not gonna be ashamed about that. Okay, and the last movie that I watched was actually one that I watched last night, which is The Thursday Murder Club. So this is a new movie directed by Chris Columbus. I think it just released on Netflix like a few days ago. And this has got like Ben Kingsley, Helen Mirren, Pierce Brosnan in it, as well as Celia Imrie, if I'm saying that correctly, and Naomi Ackie, because I said she was in Sorry Baby, Mickey 17, and she's also in The Thursday Murder Club. Now, this was a really cute Knives Out for the retirement home. I mean, I think it's based on a book series, which I've never read, but it's about this group of old folks in this old folks home who are big into solving cold cases, and they kind of get a case thrown into their laps. It was really silly. It was really heartwarming. I thought it was cute. It did lose me a bit in the middle and the end, like with the mystery and the things that were going on. Like, I really liked the beginning of the movie when it leaned into the really cute comedy that it had, but when it became a slightly more serious mystery towards the end, I think I slowly kind of came out of it a bit. I think I could put the results may vary. It seems like the reviews for this movie have been pretty mid so far, but I'm gonna say popcorn time, because I think if you're really into like the Agatha Christie or like the mystery novels, Knives Out, Death on the Nile, Murder on the Orient Express, like those kinds of movies, you might find a lot of enjoyment from this. It's nothing special in my opinion. I think it's really cute, and it might be worth your time if you're just wanting to throw something on, something nice, something simple. All right, so these are the movies that I watched in the month of August. Like, overall, I would say that I did pretty good. Like, there's no time for bed movies here. Like, there's no movies that absolutely bored me out of my mind. Like, I think War of the Worlds is probably the closest thing that would go to time for bed, because it's just a really bad movie. I would also like to know, do you have any feedback on this format? Should I add any new categories? Anything that you think, just let me know, and I will try to make improvements over time. So yeah, these are the movies that I watched in the month of August. If you've watched any of these movies, let me know what you think of them, the older ones and the newer ones. If you do check any of them out because of this video, let me know down below what you thought of them, if you've liked it or disliked it, because honestly, like, that's one of my favorite parts about this, is to hear your thoughts and opinions on these movies as well. You know, going forward in the future, I am aiming to try to post a video about once a week, but I do have a full-time job and I do get quite tired often. So I will try to stick to that. That's what you can expect from me. I hope to post more videos about the award season. Spooky season is upon us, so I really hope to focus a little bit more on horror content. And if there's anything that you would like to see, just let me know. Some things that I'm really hoping to do on this channel, besides like, you know, general movie talk like this, is I really also want to explore like actors' filmographies and to like rank them or tier them. So let me know if there's any actors that you really want to see me do that for, and I will start working on the backlog of watching their movies to put out that kind of video. So if you've liked what you've watched, don't forget to like and subscribe. That way in the future we can continue to talk about more things, all things movie related, festival related, Oscar related, horror related. I can't wait to talk about all of that with you guys more. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.